Jesus' words to the thief are commonly quoted as a reason for people believing that when we die, we immediately go to heaven. Hi, my name is Etienne, and welcome back to another episode in our mini-series on death. Today we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into this particular passage of scripture that we find in Luke chapter 23. So let's start by going there and reading verse 43, where it says, "And Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise." Now, from a quick reading of this scripture, it's certainly easy to understand how people could believe that Jesus is teaching here that both he and the thief would ascend into heaven on that particular day. However, from other scriptures that we've looked at as we've gone through this series on death, we've come to see that the Bible never teaches that when we die we go straight to heaven. It always seems to indicate that death is a state of sleep, where we're unconscious and unaware of anything and everything. So how can we reconcile what we've already studied with what Jesus appears to be saying here? Now, the answer to that is in understanding that the New Testament was originally written in Koine Greek. Now, the Koine Greek was the most commonly and most widely understood language in the Eastern Mediterranean area at that time, which is why this language was the one used by the disciples in writing many of their letters. Now, the thing we need to understand about Koine Greek is that it doesn't contain any punctuation. Neither does it contain any commas or anything else. These are all things that are added by the English translators when they've translated it from the original Greek into our modern English. So what we could do with this verse is translate it in this particular way. "Verily I say unto thee today, thou shalt be with me in paradise." Now, when we take the comma and simply place it after the word today, we can see here that we come to a very different meaning. Now, instead of Jesus saying to the thief that both he and the thief would be in heaven on that very Friday, he's instead simply saying, as I stand with you, or as I'm here with you today, I promise that I will remember you when I come into my kingdom, and you will be with me there one day. And so how do we know that this is something that we should actually do? How do we know that we should place the comma after the word today? There's two ways in which we can know this. The first comes in simply understanding what we've already been studying. And for those who haven't gone through, I recommend you go back and have a look at episode 2 and episode 3, where we cover what happens when we die and the experience that we have in death. And we've seen that the Bible always presents death as a state of sleep, where we will await our resurrection at the second coming. So that's one way that we know, but there is one other way, and for that we're going to go to John chapter 20 and verse 17. And here we read that it says, "Jesus saith unto her," that is to Mary, "Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." So what Jesus is saying here to Mary is that he had not yet ascended into heaven. Now let's remember that this conversation takes place on resurrection morning. So if Jesus had died and gone to heaven with the thief on Friday, how could he possibly come to Mary on Sunday and say that he had not yet ascended into heaven? Surely he would be lying, right? Unless, of course, the comma is in the wrong place. And if we consider that comma should be placed after the word today, then we can see that what Jesus actually said to the thief is in perfect harmony with what's otherwise written in Scripture. It's in harmony with everything we've already studied about the dead, that they sleep until the resurrection. It's also in harmony with what Christ is saying here to Mary, that he had not yet ascended into heaven. And so we can see from this story of the thief on the cross that Jesus isn't actually teaching here that at death we ascend into heaven, but rather he's being consistent with everything that's already written, promising only that he will remember at that appointed time, at the second coming, this faithful thief, this man who accepted Christ in the final moments of his life, and he will raise him up and take him to be with him in heaven for all eternity. And so I hope that you will stay tuned, because in the next episode we're going to be dealing with another really key text that confuses a lot of people, from 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 8. If you have found this video helpful, please please like and subscribe to be kept up to date with more content as it's produced. And we'd also invite you to check out our website at www.thefinalcrisis.info or download our app from the App Store, where you'll find a lot more information with Bible studies, other articles that we've written, videos as we produce them, and other exciting content as we constantly update it. So you'll find the link for those things in the description below. May God bless you as you continue to study His Word.